Hi everyone. So I've been asked to say a little bit about what Oversight Ministry is and maybe what it isn't, and why we think it's the best model for our stipendiary clergy for the years ahead. So Oversight Ministry is a phrase that comes from the Bible. Oversight in Greek is episkope, to oversee, and that's where we get the word episcopal from. And very early on, back in the beginning of the first days of the church, episcope, overseers, were appointed by the church as it grew and needed to do new things to connect with new people. So it's a good Bible word. It's also there in the ordination service, and so when someone is made a priest, they are invited to share in the oversight of the church with the bishops. It's part of what we understand a priest's role to be. And in a way, the word says what the role is. It's an overseer, someone who doesn't focus in on just one thing in enormous detail, but who's able to see the whole picture of what's going on in a place or in a community or in a community of communities. So that's where the word comes from. Kind of literally, that's what it means. Why Oversight Ministry here now in the Diocese of Truro? Well, when we looked at the 12 deanery plans, all of them said two things. Well, they all said lots of things, but there were two things in particular that they pretty much all said. They all said, we want to continue to love and nurture and grow the thing that most of us think of when we say church, the parish church, the congregation of the faithful who gather there. No deanery plan says, what we need to do is to shut down half our churches. Everyone wants to continue to see our churches as they are now flourish and grow in new ways and in ways that we know well. What all the deanery plans also recognise and say is that can't be everything. We know that if we want to connect with people who we're just not going to see on Sunday mornings in our churches, if we want to connect with our communities, with our young people, with people who come from different kinds of backgrounds from those of us who are often in church. If we want to share the faith in new ways, we've got to do new things. We know that. We need to do both. Now, what the church has been doing, Church of England's been doing for, maybe 30, 40 years now, is saying to our clergy, our stipendiary, our paid clergy, could you be the vicar in a place, and then could you have another church, please? Could you do it in two? And actually, could you have two more, 4, and in some places 6 and 8? And we know that for the last 10, 20 years, the number of churches where our clergy are asked to minister, to be priests, has often grown, and that's been a long-term trend. And as that's happened, we haven't really changed the role of the priest. So where they were being priest in one church, they're now being priest in, let's say, 6 churches, but they're asked to do the same job, still to be the leader, the parish priest, the minister in each of those 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 churches. And the consequence of that is that we are causing too much stress. We're placing too much on our parish priests. B, our congregations feel like they're dissatisfied because, well, I thought he was meant to be, or she was meant to be our priest, and we never see him or her. And C, we can't do any of this stuff. Our clergy can't help, support, grow the new things that we know we need if our churches are to grow and to flourish. So what to do? Well, what we are proposing is Oversight Ministry, where the priest, the stipendiary priest, is not the leader, the priest in every single one of the churches that they lead, but are instead the leader of a community of communities. They're not the leader of lots of communities. They are the leader of a community of communities. They oversee, they see what's going on across the things that we think of called church, our parish churches, and also new things, churches that begin to meet in schools or on beaches or on pubs or discussion groups, or ways of connecting, messy church, ways of connecting with people that we're not going to see in our parish churches on Sunday morning. Now, That will require, as well as the move for our clergy to oversee, to be leaders of a community of communities, that will also require local people in our local churches to take on the role of being the recognisable local leader in those places. And we've begun to do that, and we see that now in practice in places across the diocese where it looks like it's working really well. And we have a really good training, learning community programme for people who are interested in that kind of role. It's called Sens Canuic, means Cornish saints in Cornish, Sens Canuic. And if you're watching this and are interested in finding out more, there's lots of information on the diocesan website. We're also going to be starting in July this year, training our clergy into this new kind of role. We can't just say the word and expect them to kind of know exactly what it means and how to do it. We want to learn together how to do it, and we want to make sure that they have a space and opportunity to do that. The heart of an oversight minister then is to literally oversee, to be a leader of a community of communities, the traditional parish, church congregation, and the new things that we know we need in order to see our churches grow and flourish as a whole. Do keep talking about it. Look on the website for more information, talk to your clergy, and if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch with the ministry team. That's Rebecca Evans, Sally Piper and their team, or with me. God bless. Thank you for everything you're doing, for everything that you are exploring. May God go with you.